Put your hands together and we're gonna start the party.
I'm ready to party!
The Elvis Duran After Party.
It's the After Party Podcast. That's what we're still calling it, right? The After Party Podcast?
Yeah.
Yes, Scary, what's on your mind today?
Well, I found out something that I'm like face palming because I have a friend who shall remain nameless, who's a teacher in the New York City public school system, who had to deal with a student who thought they were a cat. Now,
Okay. Is this like high school or?
This is we're gonna say no, actually middle school. We're gonna say
Okay.
And he's a science teacher, and this teacher had to accommodate the student for every time that the student would. Well, first of all, every time the student would respond, he would meow. He would meow or hiss. Now that's not an appropriate answer in a science class. So.
Well, where is that an appropriate answer?
Well, I don't know. Well, if you think about it, I mean, but this person identified as a cat. So there had to be a little meeting between the parents and my friend who's a science teacher. And what ended up happening was the parents sided with their son or cat or whatever and said, you know what? In fact, we want to double down now. We want you to install a litter box in the back of the classroom. A fight ensued. The people at the local school level didn't defend my friend, and then it went all the way to the superintendent. It took the superintendent to finally come to their senses to side with my friend, who's a science teacher, to say, no, we will draw the line at litter box in the classroom. So I think it's out of control. I'm starting to feel.
Well, hold on. Is the child still in the class, hissing and meowing?
Yes.
No, that's not cool.
It's not cool.
Look, I understand that some kids may identify as a cat or whatever. Okay. And if this is a public school, I mean, every child in that district deserves to have an education.
Yes.
Right. Correct.
But every student deserves to have an education. And if the classroom is being disrupted by a student that identifies as being a cat and it can't move forward in teaching other kids, they need to find, in my opinion, another place to place that student to teach them at their level of feline,
get a class
whatever, I don't know,
full of cat children. And
really?
Yeah, seriously.
And then they're all meowing and hissing the entire time.
That's the only solution.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
At least they understand each other.
You do agree every kid deserves the education.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
The thing is, but not at the cost of all the other kids. There has to be a line drawn somewhere.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I'm not a professional.
No, you're right. And it's
I'm-
such a challenge for teachers. And like, how do you test said student that identifies as a cat? Like, how do you ask them questions if they only hiss and meow?
Right.
How do you give that student a grade and pass them on to the next level?
Exactly. And how do the other students ever expect to move forward in a class when the class is always stopping to listen to little Joey meowing in the corner? I mean, I'm not making fun. What do you think, Gandhi? You're being very quiet about this.
Yeah, well, I told you guys, I on this one, like I've heard these little like anecdotal stories from different people, but I've also read that the litter box in the classroom is really a big urban legend, and it all has to do with active school shooting drills, and that they have litter boxes in classrooms for, unfortunately, when schools get locked down for hours and kids have to go to the bathroom.
Is that accurate, though? Because I was in a hospital for 3 weeks, and not once did they bring over a litter box for me to shit in.
Was there an active shooter?
Bedpan. It was a bedpan or a urinal. Have those in the closet. That's my opinion.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not there, but if you look it up, which you can always, search it yourself and see, it seems like that started in 2022 and that urban legend has been going on for a long time. But if everybody knows somebody who knows somebody where this is happening, maybe it is happening. I don't know.
Well, my daughter had a cat in her high school class as well. And it's just,
Like a real
student?
cat or an identifying cat?
no,
A student identifying as a cat.
Yes,
Okay.
had the ears, the collar, the whole thing, and it was just a distraction more than anything else. But the district's hands are tied, and there's really nothing they can do about it because everybody can do whatever the hell they want.
See, that's BS.
Yeah,
They
that's
can do whatever they
wild.
want. They can do whatever they want, or they feel they need to do, but not at the cost of every other student in there trying to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
And
fine line.
having a litter box ready for a school lockdown on such a very serious situation, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe there's a place they can keep it that's not just in the corner. They can bring it out when they need to,
For
right?
sure. And maybe two things are true. Maybe they have these litter boxes, and there are still kids identifying as cats that really want the litter box in there. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, it sounds like in this situation that Scary's describing, I think the meowing and the hissing and the identifying as a cat happened way before they decided to demand having a cat box.
Okay, school shootings aside, but why are we normalizing putting a litter box in a classroom?
Exactly.
Why are we letting?
She just told you.
The no. I feel like the lunatics are running the
Well,
asylum.
no, I understand
They're
if it's
out. This
there
is crazy.
already, but if there's a request being put to have the litter box put in there, right? Like that makes no sense
Are
to
we
me.
sure?
You're talking,
Here's my other question about it.
two different things. You're talking about having a cat box in there because of school lockdowns versus having a cat box in there because mom and dad insist
Exactly.
because they're being mean to their
Right.
cat kid.
Exactly.
And I have to say, like,
Cat kid.
there have to be a lot of really weird violations, even having a litter box in the classroom outside of a school shooting situation. Because does that mean you're going to drop your pants and take a crap in the class? Get out of here. That's
Who's
why I
gonna
struggle
change
with
that?
This. Yeah.
We got clumping formula. We're good.
Oh, jeez.
How far is too far, though? I feel like we're totally unraveled. Danielle's biting her lip.
No, I look, if it's for safety reasons, I totally understand. But if it's not for safety reasons, and like you guys said, look, they're requesting it so that their kid can just go in the back of the classroom and take a poop.
Right.
I mean,
Get a life.
come on.
Please.
I mean, and then like you're saying, like, what do you draw in front of everybody? Like, here we go. Like, lift your leg.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of, like, what if I identified as a flower or whatever, and I needed a bee to come squirt something in my mouth every day. I just feel like there has to be a place where you're like, no, enough is enough. But the litter box thing, I don't know.
Is this child licking themselves?
Yeah.
I asked that. Like, is he grooming himself in the middle of class? I don't know.
I know, but he wears a tail. He has the ears.
Okay.
And so it's apparently, I mean, I don't know if that's distracting to other students, but, is that right? Is that okay? Is that immoral? I mean, I don't know.
Where do you
It's
draw
a
the line,
challenge
though?
for teachers, for sure. It's a challenge for
Absolutely.
teachers.
Which therefore means it's a challenge for the student who's trying to learn as well. But, okay, let me throw this one out there. What about a child who has Tourette's?
Right.
Now, that would be considered a disruption a lot. But then the other students are told, look, this is something you're going to run into in life all the time. A lot of people, a lot of adults and children deal with Tourette's. And so it's a learning situation for all kids to try to learn to understand it and just live life with it in the room. So where do you draw the line? Is it okay to have Tourette's, which is something they cannot help, versus is it okay for a kid to be a cat, which, I don't know, maybe that's something that needs some therapy. I'm not sure. I'm not a parent. Where do you draw the line as far as how much disruption is allowed in a classroom?
I think if it's an involuntary tick like Tourette's, you deal with it. But something that is voluntary, where someone makes a conscious decision to be a cat, I think that's where you draw the line there. That's just me.
Imagine your kid is sitting there trying to do their math work, and the kid next to them starts licking and cleaning themselves right next to you.
Or meowing?
Or clawing the furniture?
That would be.
I mean, there's a difference in a medical diagnosis of Tourette's, which is something you can be
Correct.
medically, diagnosed with, and something that you can't tell the students to leave the classroom. They need to. That they deserve the right to learn as much as anybody else.
Exactly.
But deciding that today you're going to be like Tom the cat over here is a little strange, and that's
that would
definitely
be
different.
a catastrophe.
Thank you. Psychologically, though, there's a side that would say, look, that kid is not choosing to identify as a cat. It's happening because they were born with that. It's already in there. Yeah. And I'm not saying I agree with that at all. But I don't know. This is where the arguments start to happen.
Right.
And we, as a morning show that talks about farts all the time, who are we? But, we do all agree that kids deserve a chance to learn in a classroom that's not interrupted constantly by hissing and meowing.
Yeah, that'd
I'm
be
still
really
laughing
nice.
at Kate's catastrophe line.
It wasn't that clawful.
So, again, how did this end up in the classroom, Scary?
It ended up where the superintendent sided with the teacher, and he got his way. No litter box in the classroom. However, the student was then forced to answer questions and not just meow and hiss because they were going to be threatened to be failed. So I think the student was okay with writing things down, but just not calling things out.
A writing cat, you say? Wow.
That's how it ended.
Who knew?
Somebody put their paw down.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
No one cracks Nate up like Nate. I love that.
Nate really cracked. Oh, no, Froggy's into it.
Are we at the tail end of this conversation?
Okay, it's getting good. Here we go. You
This
should
is a
end on
perfect topic.
Exactly.
Goodbye.
The Elvis Duran After Party.